Hey, this is Kyle with TxtFlo. I want to run through the basics real quick of how to set up your Zapier with the TxtFlo Zapier integration. So when you're logged into your account, you're going to click on your name, and then you're going to go to admin settings, and from there you're going to go to companies, and this is where you're going to grab your Zapier API key. So you would just click show Zapier API key, and it would be there. You're going to grab your organization identifier, and then you're going to grab your Zapier API key. Now, for this example, I've already set up my TxtFlo integration, so I won't need my key, but I'm just going to kind of take you through from A to Z here so you can see how to do it. So you will have this link here, and you'll click on accept invite and build a Zap, which will then redirect you to Zapier. Once you are in Zapier, if you click on the little plus button, you'll be able to then create a new Zap. Go through this thing here. Now this is where you're going to choose your app first. So TxtFlo is going to be the second app that you would choose. So first it's going to be something like, maybe it's your CRM, ShipStation, MailChimp, there's thousands of different apps. For this purpose, I'm going to use HubSpot. Okay. Which is what we use for our CRM. It's going to say, what do I want to choose for my trigger event? Now remember, it's going to be different based off of what app you are choosing, but the workflow here is the same for any app. So for instance, I'm going to say new form submission. Click continue. Choose my HubSpot account, which I'm going to pause it real quick just so it's not on the video here. So in this instance, I'm choosing that when a demo request is submitted, which is the form from HubSpot, then what I'm going to do is I want to create a contact inside of TxtFlo. After you click on that step, it's going to ask you to test and review it. I always recommend test and review it first. Typically what will happen is it'll either pull in some live data for you, or it'll pull in some fake data. HubSpot pulls in fake data, so it just depends on your particular app. After you have confirmed that everything is in here, which obviously you want to make sure you have the phone number, I'll click done editing, and now I'm going to go on to TxtFlo side of things. So I'll click here, do a search for TxtFlo. Now, if you don't see it come up here, just go back to the link that I sent you, or that you were sent, and click on the accept invite and build a Zap, and it will come up. Sometimes there's an issue with Zapier where it doesn't show up, so just go back to that link, click on it, and it will show up, because this is by invite only. And then once you've chosen your the TxtFlo app, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to create a contact. You're going to click continue. This is where you're going to choose your TxtFlo account. After you choose your TxtFlo account, you're going to click continue. Now, for the first time, if you're doing this for the first time, that's where it's going to ask you to log in, where you're going to need your organization identifier and your Zapier key, and then you'll put that in there. But since I already have mine in there, I obviously didn't do that. Now what you'll do is you'll come through, and typically, not typically, but you'll have wanted to create a campaign inside of your TxtFlo account. So you're going to choose that campaign here. So I chose my test campaign. Then you're going to come down here, and you don't have to send through a name, but I recommend doing that. But if you're not collecting name, maybe you're just collecting email and phone number, then you would pass that data through. But typically, you're going to be collecting that. So I'm going to match this stuff up here. So first name, last name, phone number. Now, phone number could be a little bit different for everybody, because depending on how you're capturing your phone number, you may or may not need to worry about this next line here, this next field, because if you are capturing phone number in E164 format, so what that is, and we have a little explanation here where it starts with a plus and a country code. Like the US is +1, UK is plus, I think it's +64 off the top of my head. but every country has a different country code. So if you are capturing your phone numbers with the plus and the country code, then you don't need to worry about this default phone country. So for instance, if you wanted to capture data from people from the US, the UK, Australia, Germany, and you wanted to pull all those leads or those names in to TxtFlo with that E164 phone number format, then you can just leave this as default to US. Okay, but if you are not pulling in the data set with the plus and the country code, so let's say when you're capturing your phone numbers from your contacts, they're just putting in an area code and then a phone number. Pretty typical for the US. In that case, you would want to add this, you would want to put the default phone country as US, and then what we'll do is we will append it inside of TxtFlo. We'll put the plus and the 1, so that way all those phone numbers are imported properly and sent out correctly inside of TxtFlo. So like I said, you can just leave it to default as US unless you're going to be capturing data from other countries. And in that case, if you're capturing the plus, the country code, you can still leave it to US, and we will just ignore that because you're capturing that data there. And that's pretty much it in terms of passing through data to create a contact inside of TxtFlo. And then you can also pass through other data, such as, let's say you're capturing an email address, right? So the key would be email, and then I would come into the value, and depending on how you're capturing that data, go through and find the email. Here's the email. It could be something like, let's say maybe you're capturing the city, and the value would be city. And yeah, I don't have it on there. So if you were capturing data such as city, you could do that. But the key is going to be essentially the text that you're going to type in, and then the value is what you're going to pull from your CRM or from MailChimp or whatever you're using, wherever you're warehousing your data. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact us at TxtFlo, contact your account manager. We'd be happy to walk you through this if you have any questions and if this doesn't make sense. Thanks.